Oh Lord. Well,
You know what I'm saying? This is the stereo fam. Okay.
Yes.
yes, it
This is
is.
what we gonna call this
Yes.
the stereo fam.
Yes,
We
Yes.
indeed.
got Eruth here, not just in the comments, you know how we usually do. We got
Yes.
Greg as usual from
What's up? What's
Loudmouth.
up?
And me, Shan. We would have Kevin the Flesh, but he is in the middle of being a man and moving things.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we have him in spirit.
He forgot to feed the cat, girl. Let me tell y'all. So
Oh
I got a
no.
text, right? And he's like, babe. And I'm like, because I'm at work. And I'm like, oh, yeah, hey, I'm here. Oh, you here? And he was like, yeah, I'm here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Did you get my fries? He was like, oh, no. And I was like, wait a minute, you in the house?
Right.
You said you was on your way.
Oh man.
I'm waiting for food. So he was like, oh, I forgot about Simon. He's like, I forgot to feed the cat and had to go back. And I'm like, come on, that's on the list right home. What y'all is that? Yeah. So there we go.
I mean,
but he should have been here. He might actually end up showing up. You know,
okay.
if he comes
well,
in.
Cool.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can hop in. But basically this show is to dissect the shit show that is social media topics right now, and the topics that are circling the toilet bowl, you know what I'm saying? The commode of social media, and why we keep circling the same topics on the same stuff.
Yes.
So that's what we're talking about today, which includes Clubhouse,
Yes,
Twitter,
Lord.
Instagram, maybe a little bit of stereo. I don't know. So I don't know. We can just jump in, you know, pick a platform and start the flushing.
Let's start with low hanging fruit. Instagram. Let's start there. The reason why I call it the reason why I call it like low hanging fruit, mainly when it comes to Instagram, I'm not as annoyed with it as other platforms because I can just instantly turn it off because it's not, I'm not a real big photo and video person. I don't mind it, but I'm definitely one of the proponents of some shit gets annoying. Like me, I had to stop myself from posting so many memes on my Instagram story because I would post like fucking 28 in a row because I'm like, oh, it's funny. So now, everybody got to think it's funny. And I stopped because I was like, yo, I have so much other shit I could be doing. I could be on stereo. I could be on Clubhouse and something like that. But what annoys me the most when it comes to Instagram, it's not the comments. It's not the actual post. It's the people. I feel like a lot of those people they don't have a personality. They're really like shallow on the inside. And maybe it's because of what the platform is. It's photos and videos. But then again, I follow a lot of like half naked people on there. Like that's what I like to look at. Titties and ass. Like, sure, I'm with that. But for me, people seem really like hollow, like they're putting on the front. And it's like, why? And maybe it's because we are like podcasters and content creators where we have to read through that bullshit because we have to hear people. We have to like pretty much like create our ideas from like our minds of who these people are. So when you actually see these people in action, you're like, what the fuck? Like, what? Especially people that like we all have that one person on social media that we've known for years. It's like, who is this person on this Instagram right here? Like that's not that
completely
person.
Different.
Yeah. I have a friend who like had no friends in high school, and I was friends with this person in high school, and they have fucking 600K followers on Instagram. And I was like it's very weird knowing that they live like right down the road from me, and they're like this really big like social influencer. I'm talking about like she's half naked on all the photos and things like that. But when she talks, she's just a normal ass person. So I had to ask her. I was like, yo, like, do you let this get to your head? Because, obviously you have 600,000 followers. And she was like, people don't ask me how my family is doing, how, my life is going and things like that. And I was like, is it because of what you post on social media? She was like, no, I post this because it's engagement and it brings me a follow. And I was like, yeah, but it seems really hollow. Like you just have this really large following, but then nobody actually fucks with you. And the people who know, who you're presenting yourself to be isn't the person that everybody actually gets to be in contact with outside of Instagram. So that's why for me, it was like low hanging fruit because it hurts to see that shit and see people that because now I take that like engagement that I have with her and apply that to everybody else on social media now. Because it's like, yeah, you post this, but do you believe in it? Or are you that person when you close your phone? I would hope
is it a hustle? Is that what I mean? Because I was thinking about like strippers now. Like
it ends up being that.
The strippers before, like, I mean, like, that's what strippers sort of, what they're rappers now, right? Like, so it's like, you know what I mean? I guess it's kind of like the way that the society flows, people just adapt to something, but that's really interesting. Wow.
It like, I don't mind it. I think that's my thing. Like, I don't really care. Like, if whoever you are on social media, but the thing is, people see her, it's the way that they perceive her to be on social media. So I don't want to be that person where I perceive a certain person to be this way on Instagram, and then in person, they might be the nicest fucking person on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure people, some people would think like academics is terrible, but I'm sure, some people might think he's a really nice guy. But for me, when it comes to social media, I kind of like, at least Instagram, I just feel that a lot of people are disingenuous, and I'm trying to figure out like how to engage on that platform. It's the one that I haven't mastered.
It's really interesting that the way that you all like really break down social media this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I've never looked at it like, okay, when you say it, I think like we're in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But not in because I think people think when they think like these very fantastical things, but just like on its face, that's essentially what we're living in is kind of like a Matrix type of situation. Mm-hmm. So when I used to hear people say that, I would be sitting there thinking about it, like, what do they mean? Because I wasn't on social media like that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, oh,
exactly.
Do tell me. Please, please, and I'm seeing it now and I'm like, okay, it's strange for me because I come as I am.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see things, I'm like, Eruth, just let's do some science here. Oops, sorry, y'all. I'm like, let's go through the motions. Like, let's really like dig through this. Let's use a logical mind, break it down, like try to pull everything out. And then you get to like the shit and you're like, okay. Then you get to the point where you're like, am I going to lie to myself today? And be like, this ain't what I'm seeing. And then you see it and you're like, oh, okay. Tell me more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what, like, for me now, I'm starting to like maneuver into like audio media, like, the social media platforms that we'll get into later, because like I actually get to know people and actually get to engage with people. But there's a lot of bullshit with those as well. The reason I wanted to start with Instagram is because it's the easiest. Like, it's the hardest to manipulate because you kind of like are who you are, but at the same time, you don't really know these people until you actually engage with them. But some people are kind of like so high up that you can't reach them. And it's that. And then you have Twitter where it's like, well, I don't want to interact with these people because like they already say outlandish, stupid shit all the time. So that's where y'all start coming in with y'all platforms, because those are the only two that I haven't mastered. So
Instagram and Clubhouse.
Oh no, I ain't gonna touch on Clubhouse yet because I got my shit.
Okay. So for Instagram, my peeves are people who have like no followers, but follow a whole bunch of people and have no picture, or they have like a GIF as a picture, and they're adding me or they're liking a whole bunch of pictures. I'm just like, I can't do nothing for you but block you because like you're not giving me anything. I don't know who you are. You could be the feds for all I know. Yeah, and this whole thing of, let me post the same thing that's on the Shade Room in order to get people to come to my page because I have nothing logically good to say or anything to give. That's boring to me. I don't follow the Shade Room. I'm not on Instagram for gossip. I'm not on Instagram to see what celebrities are doing. I'm on Instagram for a quicker way to interact with people who do something. Exactly. So like if it's an art page, I can see all your work. If you're a DJ, I can listen to different sets that you have. If, you do something else, I should have a plethora of things to look at before I even speak to you about what you do. So when I go on the other mediums, which are like Clubhouse, and people say, well, I'm this, I have this business. And then you go on their Instagram and it's nothing but selfies. I'm just like, so do you have another page? Like, what are you talking about? Why is this connected to this if it has nothing to do with each other? Yeah. And that annoys me on Instagram. But, you know, people who grab the nearest hot topic to make it a discussion on their page for engagement as if they have no brain. I'm just like, really? This is what you want to ask everybody that you're following?
Yeah.
And my thing is like, I don't want people following me on my page if you're not going to speak to me. I don't want to follow you if I can't speak to you.
Yes.
Because to me, the numbers don't mean anything if there's no engagement there.
Yes.
So if I can't talk to you, if we can't collab on something, why are you here? What are you watching?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important to find your people in all avenues. And if those are not your people, go through the people that you haven't interacted in a lot that Instagram automatically sets up and just knock them out and get them out of there, because you're blocking space for people to actually talk to you, to make you to actually make you feel like a human being, because you are a human being. A lot of people, when they see a whole bunch of numbers, will be like, oh, she must talk to a lot of people, or he must talk to a lot of people, or they're not really on here. It must be somebody managing their page. Like, same way in real life, I don't allow a lot of people to access me. I don't want a whole bunch of people accessing me on social media if we don't talk, if we've never done a show together, if there's nothing from you that I can use, if there's nothing from you that you can use, why are you here? And so that is my jits when it comes to Instagram. And those Forex people are like this close to those insurance warranty people that call you. I'm just like, can you get off my page? Like, if I was looking to get into that and money, I will go to you. I don't need you on my page.
No, girl. Somebody straight up told me, somebody from the lotto, somebody who said that they won the lotto reached out to me. I'm not going to lie. I tested it.
Come on, Eruth.
Tested it.
That's
tested it, right? I was like,
never know.
Let me see what this is going to do, because I'll have the experience of being like, I know it's some bullshit, but I want to be able to lay it out. So I can tell people, this is how these people do the bullshit.
Exactly.
So I was like, you know what? And also I was like, but what if it ain't? And that is some money, right? So I was like, okay, let me see. So some dude's like, oh, I'm this guy, Maurice, some shit. I don't remember his last name. And then he's like, I have been giving away money as a lotto winner to some people. I'm like, word? Okay.
Atlanta scammer.
Send me a link. Right? Give me that full name information. So he gives me the YouTube link. I'm like, oh, word. So I'm going to Google the person. I'm trying to find out if there's really a winner. There was. Yeah. So he's a real person. I'm being basically catfished with, so to speak, with this dude. So then I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead and give you my, he's like, let me get your Cash App. I was like, oh, I can take a picture. Here's Cash App. Cash App. Okay. That's public, right? So then after I send it to him, he's like, all right, so all I need is $20 to my cashier so she can go in and release the money to you. I was just like, out of the $30,000 you got, you don't have extra $20. He was like, no, I'm just saying. He said,
the nigga came out.
Said,
I cannot.
He said, no, I just need you to get my cashier. You said it twice. Okay. You okay. No, I said, I know who you are. I'm not doing this. Stop. And I just blocked his ass. But I learned. I was like, these motherfuckers out here, boy.
Yeah.
And with this pandemic, a lot of people are coming into your Instagram. Have you heard about the such and such loan where you don't have to pay back? It's basically free money. And they're coming in there with a whole reel.
Yeah.
Bit by bit, giving you like what they're talking about. I'm just like, no, I'm not interested in any money. They was like, well, why not? When it's just free grant money just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm not interested. I helped 6 people. I said, that's fine, but you're like the 5th person that has come into my Instagram DM telling me the same thing. 2 days later, Instagram follower disappeared. Like, come on,
They be doing that from the what's that movie with Marlon Wayans with that when Kim Wayne just be rolling around the corner?
Oh yep.
Oh my God.
He's so annoying on there, but that's one thing I hate. My thing is like, can we get to a point where we start to talk about what good we're doing and not what bad we're doing. Can we get to the point where the post that you make is something good or something forward, and not, let me show you what fucked up thing this is, or let me show you what negative thing this is.
My haters. I don't want to see another haters, nothing no more. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
My thing is
just like, man, give me something to look at. When I want to go to bed at 9:00, give me a reason to be in my bed and laying up looking at your Instagram at 1 a.m. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I want to know where all these haters come from, because everybody got haters. Like, and more importantly, how can they keep getting in contact with you? Oh, well, they follow me. Then make your page private. Oh no, I got a stunt on the haters. That's why I leave my page public. But then you're mad because they have access to you. Like, that's almost like saying, you know what? I don't want people to commit fraud on my account, but here's my credit card. Like,
yes,
it's the same thing. But some people just honestly, they love it because they don't have enough attention of their own. They don't have anything going for them. So they're like, you know what? Let me create this idea that everybody hates me. No, not everybody hates you. You just might hate yourself. So you start creating these fucking ideas. And then people like myself, followers, they go and feed into that shit too. We're like, oh, is everything okay? Is everything good? What is going on? Where all these haters coming from? But it's like, these aren't haters. These are people who just don't agree with you saying stupid shit. Like, I suck dick at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's it right there. My pet peeve is, it's probably a little deep. It's probably maybe Eruth's doing too much. Sometimes
go for it.
What is it?
Sometimes. Bear with me. So I'm on this thing now, right? So my name is Eruth. Right. Your name is Shan. Your name is Greg. Right. What do we have in common?
We black.
We black.
We got we're using our names.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Right.
Oh, so the fake names, the aliases.
So I can't take. Now I don't mind it because I could be like, oh, what's up, whatever. But okay, now we're on in the sides now. So I gotta call you. Like, what if I just want to be like, yo, dude,
name,
person,
sure,
woman,
especially on the stereo,
Arizonian.
They have fake names, but then when you go to their Instagram and they hit you on Instagram, it's like
they're the same person on there. It's like, yo, like that. You know what? I'm gonna save that until we go to like stereo, until that portion of the show.
We'll get there.
Oh boy,
we don't want to go on that. I told you guys. I told you it was gonna be much.
No, because I agree with you. I agree. Damn, you know what? Well, we got to segment this little show out. So we've already started with Instagram. Right. What is possibly next though? Because if we start there and it's the low bar,
like y'all gonna have.
Let's do Twitter. Let's do Twitter. Okay. Then we'll do stereo and then move into Clubhouse.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before we go to Twitter, I just have to say this. Anybody who is listening live on a podcast, anything like that, Facebook is not for anybody that I follow on any other social media. Like, unless we're actually family or we've been like known of each other before this. So people from stereo, people from honestly Instagram and stuff like that, I keep them far away from that. That's kind of like 6 degrees of separation in reverse for me. I don't need you being that close. So the reason why that's not on my personal list is because of that very reason right there. Instagram is kind of like the most exposure you'll see of myself and like me and mine, my kid, my family, and things like that, because I can actually vet who sees that stuff and it's on me. Luckily, I have a podcast page on Instagram. So what I did with like a lot of other social media, stereo and stuff like that, I have everybody go to that page. Because if you come on my personal page and you start using that shit as blackmail, which we'll talk about when we get to stereo and Clubhouse, somebody's getting shot. But being said, Twitter.
Okay, so all right, I saw something stupid on Twitter tonight. It said, "Is cheating a decision or is it a mistake?" And I wanted to Text back, are you dumb or are you dumb? Like, we already know the answer to this, right? And people instead of them say, okay, I want to talk about something, they spew out like stupidity, right? And the main topic this week and last week was Kevin Samuels. Is Kevin Samuels right? Is Kevin Samuels toxic for the Black community? Is Kevin Samuels? I said, y'all are making Kevin Samuels buku money, and y'all got Kevin Samuels verified this week because y'all won't shut the fuck up about Kevin Samuels, okay? And he is doing nothing but being himself.
Exactly.
But
you notice what you just said. You notice what you just said. He's just being himself.
There you go.
So my thing is like, can we stop talking about the big purple elephant that's in the room? We see it. We know it's there. It's already been talked about. Why is it being regurgitated 5 times, 10 times, 15 times? And that's like, ugh. And then you have the newest thing, which is the New York police killing another unarmed Black man, holding him down while he's naked. And they basically killed him. And there's no indictment. There's no charges for these police officers, but it's like blasted back to back to back to back to back all over Twitter. And it does get you furious the more you read it. So now I have to mute news that I do want to know about, but it's kind of like, well, damn, how many times can you say that these New York officers got off? And I have to keep seeing it down a thread. So that's the thing. Then you have the just random spewing of just ignorance. My man's not allowed this. And my girl's not allowed to do this. And is hip hop hurting the Black community? And then you have can women lead men? Or is it just a toxic thing to think about? And I just want us. Can we introduce a different word this year and leave toxic into last year's shit?
Yeah. Because I don't even think people really know what the definition is anymore, whatever they're trying to say the definition is. Because, like, I just hear a lot of confusion.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they just know that it's a trendy word and they just use it. Then you have the last one that was in the thread. Black men don't care for Black women. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get off.
Yeah.
Said, bitches bye.
Yeah.
Bitches bye.
Shannon's so much better than me. Like, I've gotten better as a person thanks to her, because I'll be the one to argue with them about that shit. And she'd be like, you know what? No, Greg, just no, stop. Please. Like, don't do this.
Yeah.
So
it's not a win-win.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a rough
they want to fight to be so wrong, and you just have to give them the space to be so wrong. Like the people who like to post, I just woke up. Happy birthday to me. It's my 38th birthday. So what you're really telling me is you have no friends. No one has ever told you happy birthday, and you want us to say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I purposely go to it, and I like it.
Yeah.
And I don't say shit.
But that's what you have to do that.
That was a hard one for me for a long time. Like, I stopped saying happy birthday to people on social media because I was like, I can't take this. It's too much for me. I don't have the energy. I feel like it's everybody's birthday every day. And I don't have it every day.
It is, though.
No, the only saving grace for me is, like, you know, when it comes to birthdays, on Facebook at least, because I'm the one few friend of mine that still has Facebook. So it'll tell me it's this person's birthday. So if it's an actual important person for me, I don't have to keep it in a calendar where it's like, oh, today this person's birthday shows up.
That
so
shit
shout out
feels
to Facebook.
like pressure.
It does, but the thing is, like, I don't write on their wall, because the moment you do that, then you have to do it every year. So, like Eruth said, I just don't say it. I just acknowledge that it is your birthday.
Cousin Texas. You follow them Cousin Texas one time. You might have to keep on doing it. Okay. That's how they roll. Didn't know.
Greg, why are you 15 minutes late for work? I'm sorry, I got caught up in the birthday thread.
Exactly. You and 8 people. I try to avoid that shit.
Yeah.
But what about you, Eruth?
It's even pressure replying to everybody that wish you happy birthday. Like, goddamn.
Yes, it girl. I reply to everybody that wishes me happy birthday now because I just feel like Kevin did this to me. Okay, this is what he did to me again. Now I'm not shy, but I am shy. I'm not explain it. Right. So like I guess anxiety. Like I have anxiety. So inside I'm like, outside I'm like, cool girl, you all right? Mm-hmm. You all right? You all right? But inside I'm like, I'm not all right. I'm not all right. Like I'm running and I'm running and I'm hiding at the same time. That's my life. So that's how I see things. I see things like that, like mirrors, sort of speak. Yeah. Like so, like I just feel like I lost my train of thought. Number one. Number two, on the subject of social media, and maybe I'll find it again based off what y'all last said, which is what the pet peeves of Twitter was. Now, mine was seeing artists write about like their songs that they're like, oh, I'm recording today, or I'm like, just go record. Just let me know when it's out. Because I'm looking and I'm like, okay, that's a good line. But I feel like I'm like, that's what I do. Do a little line here and there. Like, got a thought, guys. Come on, ma'am, just go do the album. It's can't that one I can't deal with. That's the biggest one. The political stuff, that's another thing. But I actually like the fact that with the political stuff that people are like really witty on Twitter. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because that's how you get the engagement, by saying something quirky like, oh, I get it. That was good.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not going to find out. I was talking about Kevin something.
Who's been in the hot seat for the past 3 days? Neo. And him making his ex-wife tie her tubes, and then he got a new wife and they had another baby.
Oh my God. This guy.
Oi, why?
People can't get out of their own way, man. Like,
Let go, Mike.
I think this is a cycle, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, the last one she didn't. I don't think she tied her tubes, but he did make babies with her, and he was like, I wanted a different course or something, and then it's kind of his pattern. It sounds like to me,
man.
That's sad.
First of all, if I ever had one of Neo's big head babies, we seen that head and them fedoras do not fit. If I ever had one of his big head babies and he turn around and tell me to tie my tubes, oh my nigga, why were you in here, nigga?
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
This is my vagina now. Like, nigga, I had one of your big head babies. You lucky I allow it to pass through. Okay. What? Whose tubes? You tie yours.
Oh my gosh. That's oof. That's hurtful right there. Yeah.
Them fedoras been sitting on his forehead for years.
You gotta stop. You must be stopped. You must be stopped.
He don't know what to do either. He wants to do something about it, but
yeah, he definitely does.
Oh my God.
He don't say it, but you be like, yeah, we know.
What can I do with this head?
See, something is wrong with Shan. We got to stop her. She has to be stopped.
Besides, stick it in and tell women to close it up. Like,
stop. Oh my goodness.
We're moving on. Are we done with Twitter?
Yeah. I just wanted to say my little like spill with Twitter is like I actually missed when you could actually say your thoughts like and not be questioned on all of them. On Twitter, it feels like Twitter has gotten to the point where everything you say has to be like controversial in order for people to actually pay attention to it. Like some days I feel good because like I could tweet anything and nobody's paying it any attention. But I made the mistake today alone. I retweeted a video of a couple in Miami. So I guess the guy, he stepped in front of a girl that was going to swing on his girlfriend. And then he hit the girl, I guess.
He knocked her the fuck out.
And I have, as of the time that we're recording, I have 17 new notifications of tweets. And I was like, yo, like, I don't want to go viral at all. I don't want y'all retweeting me. I was like, all I did was just retweet it. And people are adding me into the conversation. I was like, I don't want that. That part of Twitter, I don't ever want to be a part of. Shannon said it best a few days ago. She was like, I don't want to be famous. I'm at that age where I don't want that shit. I don't want to be known as the Gorilla Glue girl or the guy who said something on Twitter. I just much rather be like, you know what? Let me make my money on the low and just not worry about y'all. And Twitter's one of the worst places for that because everybody that I know that is like famous from Twitter as of recent in the past, like maybe like 3 or 4 years, it's always for something negative. They either did some stupid challenge or they said something stupid. I remember when Tyrese was just going on a tirade on Twitter and nobody was paying him any attention. They were like, just do some fucking Fast and the Furious movies. Like, stop talking on Twitter. And right now, like, Twitter is the one place where you can just be famous by just honestly being an idiot or just saying something that you know is really disrespectful. And you have people like Kevin Samuels and stuff like that who it's no longer shock value. It's you're just saying whatever the fuck you want to say. And you don't, there's no discord. There's no like consequences for it because people just say, oh, it's just Twitter. Twitter can literally get people found and like hurt in a really bad way.
With that address up, Twitter can also get companies who keep you on hold for hours to answer your question in a matter of seconds. And that's why I do love Twitter.
That is the good part of it.
Companies do, They watch that. They on top of that.
That's the small bonus of it. I've had Chipotle orders go bad, like, you know, the cauliflower rice shit. Like, contact them. Hey, this is trash. And they send you the money back or you get credit. And, you know, that is the saving grace for Twitter. But I will say if
it can be a saving grace in that sense. Yeah.
But I've just seen, for me personally, I've seen more bad than good come from Twitter. Relationships, I'm sure, get built, but the only reason I keep it is for the podcast. So there's that.
Men sending me their sex clips of them going in and out of unnamed, unknown punani. Please stop. The men that have their wangs sitting in my DMs, please stop.
Sir,
to the men that are happily married in their posts to their wives and they big up their wives, but they're in my DMs. Please stop.
That okay? I was like, first of all, no, you didn't. Why are you doing that? What is that? Married men are like, hey, you look beautiful. I'm married. Okay, bye. I didn't say hi to you. I don't even know where you came from. What?
Yeah.
Where did you find me from? Who are you? And they'd be like, oh, I know this person. I know. What question you got?
Yeah.
Like, I've had to tell people I am not here. Oh, I thought you was following me from my IG page. I thought there was something that I was doing that you were interested. Get gone. I don't have the time.
Now start invoicing these motherfuckers. Be like, what's your Cash App? I need to go ahead and send you this invoice for my time because that's like
the scammers are out there and they're everywhere. It doesn't matter what industry, what it is. It's the spiritual people, the everything people, the who. They were like, I had a dream about you. No, what the dream said. Okay.
Period scheme.
Nothing. Get up out of here.
Let's put our money together and get our money up. No.
Oh my! There's too much of this online. It's madness. But I do remember what I was going to tell you about Kevin, about the birthdays. I don't really like posting my birthdays, or I don't like doing any. I'm not big on like anniversary, Valentine's, whatever. So I don't never like really get up in that, and because I've been like, well, I'm not liking people's shit, so I'm not posting my shit. I'm just disengaging. And then finally I did, and then one day I came in and it was like my birthday, or I know it's my birthday, and I see myself everywhere. What are you doing, Mr. Morris?
Oh, he posted you.
He's like, my wife, this is another. Okay, calm that all the way down. Okay, you can't be out here. Just, hey, look at us. Like, we don't do that. We don't do that. You know, but I get it. And I had to take a step back and I was like, that was really lovely. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Everybody like was engaged with me, even though I was like, oh, you said it. Okay, well, thank you. And I went to go and say, thank you so much. I mean, I really did appreciate it, but I was like, this is like another job.
Yes. Yeah. You feel guilty if you don't get everybody. And it's just like,
too much pressure. so much pressure on social media.
That right there.
That's a fact. So now, y'all want to get into our home?
Oh boy. Might as well. Might as well.
Okay, so this is all Greg's fault. Greg brought stereo into my life in October, and he was like, "Hey, it's this new app. We should get on, test it out, see how it goes." And we are here. And on stereo is where we found the one and only Eruth. And Eruth has another brilliant person attached to her, Kev, who is not attached to her at the moment, but he's attached to her. And they just really was giving us like good feedback. They would come on every show, have something with some common sense to say. And I'm just like, you know what, Greg? I like these people. Mm-hmm. They're consistent and they pop through and they come through with the facts. And we just became fam folk, okay?
Yeah.
Not kinfolk, but fam folk, okay? Yeah. And we've been just kicking it and doing shows ever since. And it's just been good. So I will say stereo did what it was supposed to do at that time. Yeah. Now it has gone into a shit show of YouTubers and children. But I do like the fact that it allows you to connect with people, how they allow you to use their time wisely and take that MP3 and use it elsewhere. You get instant feedback from the people. If you do not have the stereo app, you can get it. I don't know how long it's going to be around being useful, but there are some new apps coming up later on. But, Greg, I think Greg did his job of giving the word to the pod people, and the pod people been dragging their feet. Some of them have hopped on it. Are they as consistent as Greg and I? No. But that's why Greg and I click, because when we say we want to do a show and we going to show up, we show up and we show out and we get the hell off. And I do appreciate that about stereo, but there are very dumb titles that come with stereo shows. And I digress.
Oh boy. I don't want to start. I don't want to start. Actually, fuck it. I'll start first. Stereo, I absolutely fucking hate y'all. Like, I mean this from the bottom of your heart. The reason why I hate y'all, it's not even the money thing. It's the fact that, like, it's encouraging people to just say any fucking thing and do any fucking thing. And every time I get on the show, I pray. I'm like, I just don't want this voicemail to be stupid. I just don't want these people to be stupid. And it happens every single fucking episode. I'm like, and stereo, no matter how many times I say, dear stereo, please fix this. They're like, we're working on that, but let's make something else that's fucking stupid that you're going to be even more irritated for. I talked to Shan earlier today, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go off. Stereo, you got to hear this shit. Right now, the fact that we're doing this on Zoom and not on stereo, that pisses me off. Like, I've asked for 5 fucking months. I've said, stereo, doesn't it make sense to have people more than a one-on-one conversation? They're like, we're considering it. You know what they considered since then? Monetizing content creators, bringing YouTubers on, bringing Twitch people on. What purpose do they serve? Absolutely fucking nothing. The reason why I say this is because YouTubers and Twitchers, 9 times out of 10, they participate in games that are more than 1 or 2 people. So you just bring 2 people that are friends that are Twitchers and YouTubers to go and broadcast their shit on yours, and they're pretty much not bringing their audience to your platform. They're telling their audience, hey, sign up so I can get $500 a week, $100 a week. And the next week, you know what? We're going to do it again, because they're following. It's like, okay, like, we get to listen to the same people there. But now you notice their listeners started to die off because they're like, wait a minute, but you're still on Twitch. Why the fuck do I need to go over there if I can just be on Twitch and hear the same shit? Oh, because you want to make money? So you notice a lot of them have left. So now stereo is like, how can we figure out how to get more people on our platform? Newsflash, you can't. That's why you don't see Jeff Ross in them anymore. That's why you don't see, Mike the Situation and shit like that, because stereo hasn't figured out that the content creators that are there, they would like to engage with each other. Like, most people like us have schedules of where we want to talk, but we talk to the same people. I would love to talk to new people. I just don't trust new people because I've gotten to that point where I know I'm going to see Eruth. I know I'm going to see Shan. But these new people that might be there for 2 or 3 weeks and figure like, you know what? I'm not making any money. So why the fuck do I need to be on here?
Yeah.
And now Stereo has to compete with these competitors. We were talking about Fireside. We're talking about Clubhouse a little bit later. We're talking about, honestly, they were, what was the red app that I hate even more than Stereo?
Station.
Machine Head, Station, and shit like that. It's like, you have all this competition and you're not doing the bare minimum. And once, I've said this a few months ago and I was wrong, that they would eventually run out of money. And it feels like they're not running out of money. They're just figuring out ways to allocate it better. So what they've done is made people they made like a platform where the leaderboard has an unattainable goal. Like they're telling you, hey, bring 100,000 people to our fucking app. And it's like, yo, half of these people don't even have an Instagram page. So how the fuck are they going to bring 100,000 people to an app that honestly has 600 reviews in the App Store? Nobody cares about that. And Stereo doesn't even do the due diligence enough to promote themselves.
They use us to promote it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't use us to promote if you don't use us for promotion. Say, for example, they say, hey, well, I'll go on Instagram, I'll go on Twitter. Hey, we're doing a show tonight, 8:00, but I'm fucking tweeting it at 2:00 in the afternoon. You know what they do? They wait until after we fucking record it to like it and tweet it. And it's like, okay.
They only tweet that someone is doing a show if they're a celebrity and they're verified.
Exactly. So that was point 2 for me with Stereo. I know y'all got, y'all things, but I'm just get my last 2 out and I'm done. So my next to last issue with Stereo, it's not really an issue. It's just feature wise, like certain things I don't need. And the most recent one has been this pre-moderation shit. So Shan's going to get on me and she's going to probably tell me to shut up about it, but it's the truth. The pre-moderation thing has to be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen on planet Earth. The reason for pre-moderation is usually for you to like look in advance of things that are coming up in the future, right? So with Stereo, they give you this platform where you can leave voicemails as a listener to a show. But Stereo's like bright idea was, hey, for pre-moderation, what we do is we let the 2 people record, but they have, to send the link to someone else. So say, for example, Shannon and I are we're recording a show. They would require us to get a third person, Eruth in this case, to go and moderate the comments. But here's the thing, just to moderate the comments on top of listen to the conversation and then send it back to us, which is twice the fucking work. So it's like, why don't you just send us the same way you tell us, hey, this person left a voicemail, just make a little tab where it's like, okay, these are the voicemails that you have to play in this order. So we can say, hey, this person looks like they're going to spam, or you play one and then you mute them so you don't get the other 15 that they're about to leave that are bullshit. It's not that hard, Stereo. And lastly, my main gripe with Stereo is the fluff. The people who are honestly just terrible human beings in real life, they know who they are, so I ain't got to mention their names. But they make racist comments. I've seen one individual still talking about why Trump won the election. I'm sitting there like, yo, did we just not live through January? What the fuck is going on? Or, like comments that are just like clickbait titles that nobody cares about. Like, why do we have to have Black History Month? And they do it 5 fucking times. Or, what Black person did good for America? That's a topic. And I was like, yo, like, we see this on Clubhouse. We're going to get there. But, just to say what I'm saying to like end everything with Stereo, the only reason I'm still on the platform is because I enjoy the community that we've built for the last 5 months.
Yeah.
I personally don't give a fuck about any of the new people. And if they heard this, I mean that shit. Like, I don't know you and I don't have a connection to you. I'm sorry. But I'm hoping personally Stereo just gets it together soon. So when I say soon, they have 90 days because if they don't figure it out, I'm gone.
You said,
okay.
Yeah. So what, okay, let me ask this.
Stereo. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead and ask it because I want you to forget.
No, I was going to ask.
Stereo can...
I was like a little delay.
Is it delay? Sorry about that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, like, so is it the fact that they don't have enough controls in place too? Like, because that is a big issue, that who comes on the app. Like there's like almost like there's no filtering process. It's just like kids sign up and they just go. Yep. So that might be your segue. Maybe that's where you was going. So go ahead, Jen.
They don't. I don't feel like the goal of Stereo is to care about the quality of what comes on the app. Let's just get people on the app, because when we get people on the app, we get money, and then we have more options to do some more new stuff, not fix the old stuff that can be great stuff, because we don't care about it being great. We just want more people on the app. And I'm just like, that's why I had to be like, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to be really bothered by it. If it works, it works. If I can use it, I can use it. If I can't, I can't. On to the next one, because I do care about what I talk about. I'm not just on there because I have nothing to do. I don't like my kids. I have nowhere to be. I can't be doing anything. Like, I take out the time to go on there and do shows with people that I feel like will show up and will engage and will have something to say. If you don't have anything to say, like you see me on Stereo with Greg, you see me on Stereo with Eruth, you see me on Stereo with other people. You come in, you hear a few things, and you're just like, oh, I want to do a show with you. And you come in my DMs on Instagram. All right, cool. We could do a show. Do you have an idea of what you would want to talk about? Oh, I don't know. It's up to you. Which tells me you have nothing to talk about. And I was like, okay, so give me a time in March and we can set up a show, because I'm already like full on like shows I have to do to the end of the month, which is facts. Y'all already see my calendar. It's stupid. And it's crickets. Because you see me, even the execs on Clubhouse that we'll get into later on, they see your links to Instagram, they see your links to Twitter, they come on Instagram. Well, send me a link to all of your shows. It looks like you have a lot of shows on your page. Send me a link to all your shows. You all see my Instagram. It's verbatim. You see what the title is. You can find it.
Right.
But because you took the time and you were polite, I sent you the links of all the shows. Cool. I like the topics that you have. What do you think about doing a show together? I said, sure, we could do a show together. Here are the days and the times in March that I could do a show. Let me know. Crickets. Because you want to feel like your time is better than my time. You wanting to do a show with me is like, you should drop everything, Chantal, and come do a show with me because I want to. And that's not how I work. Because you can be a millionaire and say, I want to do a show with you. And I'm going to still be like, these are my times.
Yes.
This is the day that I have to do the show.
Exactly.
Let me know when you want to do it. If you really want to do it, if you really value what I'm doing, if you really respect me as a creator and what I'm doing, because I'm not going to stop mothering for you. I'm not going to stop my other shows that have been consistent for you. And I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about anyway. So you just saying you want to do a show with me is not going to do it. And people like to sit on Stereo and in Clubhouse and assume that you're sitting and you're waiting for somebody to give you this grand opportunity. No, I'm always working on my opportunities. I am always in progress and I am always improving something. So I am never not in motion. So I'm not going to stop for you. And that is my thing when it comes to Stereo. People come on there sometimes and they'll see Greg and I doing a show. They're like, oh, okay, I like your show. You should try to do like a real podcast. Do we not stop the show sometimes and tell y'all that you can find Young Black and Bothered on all platforms? You can find She Gets It podcast on all platforms. You can find Cozy Moon podcast on all. This is not the start for us, even though it might be the start of other people. But Greg and I was like, you know what? Maybe we should do like some tips for podcasters. Maybe we should do like do's and don'ts for podcasters. Maybe we should help them in the process and answer any questions. And we will see 10 people, 15 people sitting in the show about podcasting for the last hour and a half. And we'll give them multiple times to ask questions. And it's crickets. Because people don't want to think of the content. People don't want to do the work. People don't want to do the research. They want somebody to say, here's the template. Here's the time. Here's the topic you're going to talk about. Go ahead and do it. Put your name on it. And now you have a podcast.
Or even
and
try.
And that is not how a podcast works. And I don't feel like a podcast is for everybody, and how it's being talked about so much is giving people the illusion that they could come on something like Stereo and have a podcast, and that is a podcast. That is not a podcast.
Right.
That is not a podcast. That's your opportunity to talk and converse with different people, but that is not a podcast. And it can be the start of something great. It can be your initiation to the Gangster Nation of something great, but that is not a podcast. That is not a stable place where people could come find show after show after show after show. Even when Stereo is like, you know what? We had a nice run. We're going to close the app. Ta-ta, goodbye, peace, and all that. What do you have? And that's why Greg is always talking about have your own website. Have your own platform, do your own Googles, do your own stuff. And we're not coming on Stereo just talking about, so what do you think about monogamy? So what do you think about Kim and Kanye? So what do you think about, we're coming on there with topics and discussions you should talk to with your family. You should talk to with your friends. You should talk to with the people around you. Maybe you should go ahead and filter out the friends that you have around you so you can be better people. And I don't feel like Stereo is a platform that will respect that, but Young, Black, and Bothered is a platform that will respect that. His listeners is a platform that will respect that. My listeners on She Gets is a platform that will respect it. So that's why we do it. But let's say if we couldn't take that shit nowhere, I want to be on there. Greg want to be on there because we got other shit to do.
Right.
That's just how it is.
I think that's where like I kind of like leave it with Stereo now, mainly because like I only got on it because it was easier than Zoom. And it was like, wait, it's easier than Zoom. I can literally go from the bathroom to the fucking, front door. I can go check my mail and be on here. And I can edit the audio and boom. I don't have to always be tied to my computer, which is great.
Yeah.
My issue is no matter how much competition Stereo gets, the only improvements they make are bullshit improvements. That for me is my number one. But when it comes to like, trying to teach people things and try to like better people, the people who were doing that on Stereo, they have started to try to do the controversial topics. And it's like, that's not what you do. That's not the audience you want to build, because then you start having people troll you. Like I've noticed when we do like serious fucking topics where it's like, if the term black is in it or if it's about race or something like that, boy, these motherfuckers come out like the gremlins. Like they come out like all you got to do is water them a little bit.
Yes.
It's like, like do y'all, you could have just like
the black ones and the white ones and the in-betweens, they all just be doing the same bullshit.
Shan has gone to the point where in like the middle of our show, regardless of what it's about, she says, keep it on topic. I know to keep it on topic because, that's my co-host. Right, but at the same time, it's just like, I've gotten to the point now where I just don't even say anything. I just laugh it off because I know I'm going to mute you. Right now, I have 163 people blocked on
Let me tell you, Greg is quick with them fingers, boy.
No, 163. Like,
no, when I say if you X out multiple times or just only when you hit mute?
Only mute. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
The muted ones, I have 63. I have 100 of people that I blocked. So when they were going through that whole, like, the election season, when people were showing their true colors and, people wearing blackface and they really white and shit like that, block. And anybody that they did a talk with, if that shit popped up, block. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, my thing is, like, I need my, like, sanity, and I should be able to go on any social media platform and still have that. But if I invite the negativity, I'm going to get that shit. So what I do is I block it. And Stereo is the easiest platform that I can do that shit. Where they mess up though, as a like app or a social media app, is not giving you the ability to properly do it before you run into it. it's almost like Stereo knows that the troll is like the red light, but they say, you know what, just go on through it. It's okay. It's like, no, but if I'm going through it, I might get hit by another one of these motherfuckers. And that's what happens with Stereo all the time. So for me, like just personally, just to piggyback from what Shan was saying, like when we do the podcast episodes, I wish people would actually engage on those. When we have these topics where, you know, there's 20 to 30 comments and we can't get through them, it's because it's resonating and some, you know, people are engaging with that, which it pisses me off because I'm like, wait, like we have people leaving these voicemails, but it's only telling us it's only 15, 16, 17 people. And I was like, but if I go and click on that new person who just signed up Tuesday and they have fucking 1,100 people in 40 minutes, I'm like, okay, what are we not doing right that they are doing right? And the common, exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, somebody's like, Greg, you a hater. Yes, absolutely. 125% hating here. And the reason why I'm hating is because I'm like, like there are people that when Stereo was kind of like a nuanced thing, nobody really cared about it. Like we had more of us on that app. We had more black people, brown people on that app that cared. Now I couldn't tell you, other than the people that were there when we were there, like Jersey Worthy and all these, like all those folks that were there, these new people that are popular. I'm like, I don't know if you're, you know, if you're black or white. I don't know. I don't care. But at the same time, I don't even know what your content is. I don't know who you are.
And that's the thing. On Sundays mornings, they are doing numbers. And I sit there and I listen to the show for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, why are people listening to this?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's gotten to the point where, like, you know, we could do a show on Saturday and we would be in the leaderboard because now, like, you know, we were in fucking 20, 30, 40s. Now it's like, okay, 200 and plus. I'm like, okay, I don't care. I don't care that much anymore. I'm at that point where we create the content and we take it to our platform. That's where I'm at.
Right.
But when you know that you have better content and you see new people every week, and it's like they only have one show and then they just disappear. They're just like poof. Like the Stereo does not realize what the fuck they're doing, and why do they keep gravitating all that audience to them? Like we're doing the social media shit. We're going and tagging them and everything, and we have an established following, reoccurring people on the app. But these people who are following and only follow 2 people, but they have 6,800 people. It's like, yo, they've been on here 4 hours.
Right.
This shit don't make no sense to me. So, you know, Stereo, again, fuck you. I mean that. I personally hope that the app gets better, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. It doesn't have long. The reason why it doesn't have long is because, you know, we'll get into Clubhouse, we'll get into other platforms, but I just don't see it anymore. Like, other than it being a great place for one-on-one podcasts to actually connect with each other weekly and have like audio when it comes to like voicemails, stuff like that. That is the one thing that they have. Outside of that, the things that people have asked for the longest being more than 2 people have a conversation. So there could be that person who does do the moderation and shit like that. Like, at what point do you think about that?
What if it's like one step at a time with it too, right? Like, so now we have the moderator, and now you can, I'm thinking about like the company I work for is like very data driven. There's all, like, you get all the data you pull is where you can actually source it to get it to whatever solution you're trying to apply for. So maybe if it's just like a situation, like for instance, I think it's a long game for people who are like really serious. I think it's a long game because the reach is, I mean, it just started. So I think the reach is going to get bigger just for the nonsense, right? Because like Facebook is big because of a bunch of nonsense, but still people end up using it. It's been able to grow because people found creative ways to be able to use it still too. But it just took that time for them to kind of keep fixing the bug here, the bug there. People don't like this. People like this. So I think with Stereo, I think they're going to, I think that they understand to a certain degree, even if they're not really paying much attention like they should, because they're getting a lot of that traffic that's coming. Right. So maybe that's the some of it is like kind of like the consequence, the thing that will happen. The risk is we'll have foolishness. Right. But people will still get more people that will come in and listen, even if it's for a few moments. Maybe they'll share one time. Maybe they won't follow. Maybe they'll, there's just little different variables. I really think that there's a lot of creative ways to be able to take advantage of what they're doing now, even at its stage. You know what I mean? Because I think at some point, somebody in the company is going to start saying like, okay, yes, there's a whole bunch of foolishness, there's a whole bunch of people, traffic coming here. But once you get people that have a consistent following, like you guys have consistent following, like we're starting to shape, I think this sort of, it's kind of like you're shaping whatever it is that's coming next is how I keep looking at it. Because I know stereo is temporary. It is temporary. Like I agree with y'all. It's not something that's going to be like long. I don't know how long it's going to have, but there's a lot to leverage out of it. And I think the thing that makes me a little frustrated is, to your point, is the people that call to reach out that want to do talks, or people will ask you like, well, what kind of talks do you do? And it's like, why are you following me and you don't know?
Facts.
Yep.
That's why engagement is so important.
Now, how's that work? Like, you know, and it's kind of, and so then when you are with talking to people, like the thing that bothers me too is people who don't have any other way to reach them. I got to reach you through somebody else. You got an assistant? Oh. I did that once. I will not do that again. But I did it for the experience. You know, let me see how this goes. I'm going to test and try every little thing. I'm going to be a little curious. And then,
and then you have to make sure you don't run into people who sit and let you carry the show because they have nothing to add, but they want the benefit of you being on the show because they feel like
you had to live that life, girl.
Yes.
I don't feel like I ever had to carry a show, but I do feel like I'm like go-to topic person.
Okay.
You know
yes, she ain't giving herself credit. I don't know why she ain't.
I was just like, I don't like it. I like it sometimes, but every time I don't want to be the initiation of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm learning I'm having to like get like be more okay. I've become sort of, I have in me now. I've always had it in me, but I'm admitting it now. I have a fuck it button. I'm like, fuck it. I don't give it. I
love it.
I don't care. I don't care, because some of the stuff that goes on there, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, yes, in the moment, if we're cool, I'm going to tell you, like, I'm good. I'm not going to just throw out just anything just because I'm going to say, and I expect the same thing in return. And that's the one thing I don't like when people follow me, but it's like, well, why are you following me? If number one, you're asking me questions about who I am, like,
why
you don't have to do
here?
it. You don't have to do it. Like, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, I want people who are really going to be interested, because that's in my mind, I'm going to receive the feedback that I need, right? Like, I can then do something with that, because people are like, oh, great, I like this. And if they don't, I'm kind of like, okay, not that it matters if people do or don't, but I then get an understanding as to like, what's the sense of what people are understanding about me, right? Exactly. Or maybe I need to clarify something or whatever it is. Like, I just feel like, right, to your point, is there's folks on there that are not clear about what their purpose is, which not that you have to tell the world about everything that your goals are, but you have people that are serious about, like you said, what we're talking about. And then you get to these points where you're like, okay, so we're talking on this side. Who are you? Like, I just can't.
They don't want to reveal that. Well, I can't. I'm not really in on social media. Listen,
I can't be
if you're going to put your pinky toe in it, put your whole head in it, okay? Come in the room. But if you can't hide behind a screen and want to be the loudest when it comes to this social media shit, because it's not going to work.
That's the thing. They're not even hiding. Like, it happens so fucking surface level. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to have video. It's an emoji of your face. But the thing is, when you want to get to know that person in real life, like when you actually say, you know what, I'm doing a show with you. How about I actually get to know who you are?
Yes.
Like, because I have to present what happens if like a Jeff Ross or, one of these famous podcasters that world are on this, they come to you and say, hey, I like your show. I want to, Eruth and, Shan, like, you two do something great. Like, I want to bring you guys on. But then Shan's never showed her face. Shan's never like had that connection with you. Like, you want an act that it's no longer just visual, it's vocal. And I feel like that's more personal than, what you get from Instagram and all these other social medias. Like, you're talking to this person. You hear the affliction in their voices. You know who these people are. You know when you've kind of hit a hard, like, a hard pressing topic. You feel the way they feel because it sounds a way. with stereo, there are just a lot of getwits. And I'll just be pretty frank about that. There are a lot of people who are just like, you know what? Eruth is on the leaderboard. Shanna's on the leaderboard. Let me go and connect with them because they seem cool. They had a topic that, girl, it resonated with me. Let me go message her because I want to expound on that. But you know what you could have expounded on that? The fucking voicemails. You said nothing the entire fucking show.
Yeah.
Why did you not do that? Why? Because you want your moment in the sun. That's fine. You want that, but you have to bring that.
Yeah.
When Shannon and I were doing 4-hour shows and it's fucking 800-900 people in that room, it's like, oh, and it's jumping. I mean, it's fucking jumping. It's like it drove us to do more shows. But the less and less we would hear in these voicemails, and we're telling people, we have a whole fucking segment telling, like, last call. This is the point where you can leave your voicemails and stuff like that. Because if you are leaving voicemails, it's going to make us want to continue giving you content.
Right. Because you're engaging. People don't get engagement. People don't get that, I don't think.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it if you don't get that. But for me personally, I would just much rather, stereo and the people that are on it, the content creators, we do a little bit better. And it starts with us. But I just need to know from stereo, what do we need to do? And I've asked this before. Shannon's asked it as well. What do we do to drive up our listens the effective way, where it's not just a 1 week thing, where it's not just a 2 week thing? Every week, we know for a fact we're pulling in the numbers that you want, because that's the one question they have not answered for me as a content creator on that platform is, what do I bring to you other than, hey, my social media, I'm posting this link. And then after the fact, you're liking it. It's like, hey, by the way, thanks for doing what your job is as a content creator. But nothing. They don't say, hey.
You know what? I think the tactic, because I think people realize how to navigate in these stereo streets to get the like you said, the low hanging fruit to come to in the stereo streets. And I think that what I've noticed is that people who are on often is like kind of one of the cycles. And that's why I say there's two parts of it for me. It's like, okay, if I was to take the road to come on more, what am I? Because my thing is like, okay, the content that I have now, this is me sort of shaping up whatever the next project is. I don't know what that is yet. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm still filling it out.
Holla. Your girl got merch. You already know where it's at. It's at www. That's 3 W's. whoisshan.com. Okay. I got my books are on that website. That is my personal website. You got the feed for the show for So What Page We On Bid. She gets a podcast and Cozy Womb podcast. And if you go on the shops page, you will see all the shops. You will see Loudmouth Shop. Okay. You will see Cozy Womb Shop. You will see Who Is Shan Shop. You will see She Gets It Shop. And you will see Mama's Cozy Closet Shop. All right. So get some merch. All right. Because if it don't move, I move it. Because I like to move it. Okay. I'm not going to have no merch just sit. If it ain't moving, it's telling me that y'all don't want it. And I want to continually create something that y'all want. So back to the show, but don't say I never told you so. Boost.
And so this is like the thing that's helping you shape that project up. So I'm just wondering, like, on one side of it is that people are shaping, you could use it to shape whatever you're trying to shape it as, or if you get enough people that are doing this foolishness of like coming on often and it's having like the crazy show and all kinds of shows, just to be like, sometimes you see the show titles, you're like, you doing that kind of okay, because I'm used to seeing, but then I'm like, people are, I always think people are multidimensional. What am I trying to say? Complex, complicated, right?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Yeah. Multidimensional, right? So I'm kind of like, well, some days maybe you want to be a little quirky, some days, because I'm like that too. Some people see me and they're like, oh, she's real serious. And I'm like, no, I'm actually really a fool. But I'm also serious, but I am a fool.
But you're not going to talk to me like I'm stupid, because I'm not stupid.
Right. And I think that's sort of the thing that some people, like when you hear people give you feedback and they're like, I really appreciate your content. Like, I really like what you're doing. Then you're like, okay, so there's people that are here. We just don't know how to get them here yet. But maybe it's this foolishness, the traffic of the foolishness that gets the popularity going, where the people that are, everybody else is like, oh, I did hear somebody that I like, okay, I just need a chance to go back, but I do want to listen to them live because I want to participate. Oh, I want to go to the podcast. I want to be able to listen, you know, like I will tell y'all this, the other night when that shit got, sometimes shit happens on the app for good ass reasons. Okay. That shit that went down with, because I don't know what's going on, because they split a bunch of my shows up in like 15 shows one time. So I was like, okay, the one thing that came out of that is that they cut the shows up for me. So I'm going to edit it. I'm like, I could use, I have to listen to the whole fucking 8 hours.
Me and Greg have seen that, where it was like a 4-hour show and they chopped it, which makes it really easy for me to edit and the person that edits for Greg to do.
Yes.
But when it's all one thing, let me tell you, honey, I got a 4-hour show right now and that shit is not moving. That shit is like, nigga, you're not editing this.
But let me say this, but let me say, so, with that being said, right, with us being able to leverage the little opportunities, right, that's the black people, that's what we do. That's what we do. We always trying to find opportunity, right? So, okay, my thing with that is, okay, now that we have that out of the way, the next step for me is thinking about how can I continue to be consistent, number one, right? Because now, like, do I need to, what you're saying, do I need to rub shoulders with anybody else? Sometimes I'm like, well, just do it. Maybe just do it for just push yourself. But then I'm like, but I feel solid. I feel like it makes sense right now. Like whatever this is right now, I'm good. It makes sense. Like I have a few folks that I rock with and I'm just kind of, or maybe some people I might be open to, but I don't even know. I circle back to frustration with the stereo app. So,
the guy you did the show with the other night, and somebody was coming in there and it was like, well, what do you think about the next? Eruth was like, next.
Yes.
He was like, wait. I was like, no,
you're trigger finger itchy too. Okay.
And listen, she knows when they come out to come on here is stupid.
Yes, I can't. And that bothers me. But at the same time, what I was talking about as well is that the fact that those errors have, like that, of course, I think the moderation thing, I do think we got to test that out. I know we got to figure it out. I really want to see what that can do. But I love the fact that when that shit happened now with y'all show, everybody just got a chance to really, I got a chance to sit down and like really, really listen. Like, and I'm like, yes, like this is fucking like awesome. Right. And I'm like, okay, so people get an opportunity to see people who don't get a chance to listen. Like I don't get a chance to listen to your shows all the time. Like when I can, I'm starting with She Gets It pod. I'm trying to move my way into others, into other pods to listen to. And so I think that was like such a, like, I know it's a long show, but that was an experience. And I think people do want experiences. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to outlive some of the foolishness, but it's just going to take some time. But then we leverage whatever we can. But
the goal with stereo is not what Greg asks first, because that is a question. Like, what do we need to do to get the numbers up? But the first question for stereo is, what is your goal with this app? Because once they tell you what their goal is with the app, then we're going to answer our own questions before we have to ask them as far as like what we need to do. Because I feel like the goal of their app is just to make it popular.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the complete opposite of our platforms. We're talking like podcasters. Like our podcast audience is there to like, it's like a concert or like a auditorium for them. So they can comment live. They're not going to be on your platform to, I don't want to say this to be rude, but like to go to listen to other people's shit. They'll go and listen to the people's shit that is in the comments. Cause like, hey, like Eruth, like I recognize her from She Gets It pod. She's on here too. Like, let me go and start listening to her. That's how the app is supposed to work. But stereo works in reverse. When you open up the app, they don't want to take you to people that are like the people that you follow.
Yes.
There's no algorithm. The algorithm is
that's true.
Whoever the fuck we want to throw at you that has 60 people to start the room. Yes, go to them first. It's like, why do they need 60 more people? Why don't you start like spreading the wealth? Because when I open the app and I'm like, okay, there's already 600 people there. Why the fuck do I need to be there? Even if it's that engaging, like there aren't any more. Like, instead of having that format with the tabs and the cards and shit, how about you just do? And I don't want to give Clubhouse any like more than it needs to because I'm about to go in on them too. But
teach me, y'all. I left.
Make it with the fucking rooms. Like the same thing with Clubhouse. You can say, you know what? You opened it. Yes, there's a conversation happening at the top that you just walked into. But the rest of that screen that you don't have to worry about all that other bullshit, these are all the other rooms you could be going to listen to. Sports and stuff like that. I shouldn't have to click 3 times in order to check for sports. Why is there not a podcast tab? Like it's health and sports and entertainment and comedy.
Why the fuck don't you have a section of your top 5 favorite rooms?
Bingo.
Because I don't know about you, Greg, but when I go in Clubhouse, I'm going to the same 5 type of rooms that I always go to. And the rest of that shit be bullshit that we'll get into.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get there. But I mean, my last little point when it comes to stereo is like, I hold out hope for this app, not for the money. But I know, like with any other platform, when you take out its main function of people being there, people leave. And it's only a matter of time. And I know I keep saying this, but the reason why I say this is because like they're running out of ideas officially. And I know this, like when they send us these emails about, content creators, like, we added a new feature that you're going to like. It's called pre-moderation. It's like, well, explain to me the cadence of the show then. Like when I emailed them back, the pre-moderation, it should work. Like if we sent Eruth the pre-moderation, she should be able to look at it and still listen. She can't do both.
Yes.
You have to go and listen to the voicemails, which completely throws the cadence off because she's like, hey guys, I looked at all the moderation. Here, play it back. So now it's worse than when we had it before, where we might be 10 or 15 minutes behind in voicemails, but now we're 20, 25 because not only does she not know where we are because she couldn't hear us, but now she has to listen to a whole bunch of voicemails about shit that don't even matter.
Yeah.
Or even just fix the initial shit that you need to fix before you create a new problem. Like the fact that you play the messages back and it plays the newest one. Why aren't you playing the oldest one so we can continue the show and we don't have to play catch up?
Exactly. But I guess for me, stereo, I know I talk a lot of shit about them. I do enjoy the relationships that were built. So new people that are on there, I would hope that they appreciate the tribe that they've built. And I feel like our tribe is kind of like our tribe, and now we're graduating high school, and now we're in like the college years, and we're trying to figure out what is the next step. And for me, I can't speak to it right now, but there are new steps, and my main components of those next steps are things that I've learned that I didn't get and I don't get with stereo, which is monetization, actual community. And monetization is number 1 for me because we can do this. This could be us. Like I do not mind doing this shit, but I need my money. And I'm not going to do more for your platform than I can do for my own show. So monetization is number 1 for me. 2 is community. I still need that community there. And if I can't get that community there, I'll ask my community to go elsewhere. But what I know for a fact, what stereo is not doing right, and which they still haven't gotten right, is keeping the community that you bring to their app on their app. We have podcast friends who they come in here and there, but they're not consistent. They're not like, I'm going to check in every Wednesday at 9:00. I'll come in every like 3 or 4 weeks. It's like, like what is going on here? But my ultimate goal is to drive up the engagement with the people who are on these apps, but I want them to actually go listen to the podcast. That's where I need those listens to go. I need people to go and say, you know what, where can I go listen to the entire show? And they know that versus every week, Shan has to tell these people, hey, if you missed the last 45 minutes of the show, don't leave a voicemail saying, so what did I miss? Or I missed the first part of the conversation. Yes, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Clearly, you've missed so much.
Yeah. I think we could play with the moderation, though. I think if we are able to figure out how to be able to do it in a way that we can still, it's not such a time suck based off of what it is now, or just even accepting the fact that it's going to be a time suck for the first couple of whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we get to a place where it's like, okay, now we've eliminated where the time suck is. And then maybe the app can then get that feedback and say, okay, you can make it better if you do this. I mean, I don't want them to get rid of all the goddamn bugs. That's what I want them to do. Like, I can't with the bugs. I need them to do something about the bugs. Cause that is, I've not seen that happen in other shows.
Yeah. Yeah. And you saw
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't think Stereo is really receptive to like people being like critical of the faults of their app. So instead of them going and fixing those bugs and the things that are wrong with the app, they just throw out new features. They knew that the bugs were messed up 2 weeks ago, and they knew what was on Saturday because multiple people were saying that their audio was messed up and they weren't being able to like get anything done. So what do? They do an update which changed the layout of what they want to do. I'm like, okay, like at some point, I need you to actually care about your app just as much as we do. But we wouldn't be talking about it this much if we didn't care. Yeah. Because we could have all left. We could all been like, fuck it. Like, okay. Like, how many people
because it has the potential of being great. Yeah. But they have to care about the details. And they don't.
Bingo. Bingo. So, my last thing when it comes to Stereo is it's not anything bad. I just really want them to consider with the like pre-moderation stuff like that, open it up so it's more than one-on-one conversation. Like that right there, you have honestly eliminated a lot of apps. You don't have to worry about station head. Honestly, there'll be more people that are coming from the Clubhouses of the world and Twitter Spaces and, Instagram Live and stuff like that. If they know, you know what, I can have a conversation with, Shan and Eruth and Kev. Like we could have a 4-person conversation because when that one person's not talking, the other person's moderating. When all 4 are talking or when they're not talking, boom, there's time for voicemails. It would stop people having to be on the app for 6 to 7 hours. I've seen people have 7-hour conversations about absolutely fucking nothing. But if there was a way for them to talk to more people all in one platform, like people will care less about the money and care more about the content, which that is paramount for me. And that's what I want Stereo to get to. I want them to get to the point where they stop throwing money at people and start throwing out the ideas that people are giving them and putting it and enhancing their app. Once they do that, man, we might not be fucking with a lot of apps.
Punkash. You know what I'm saying?
But for now, still fuck them.
What you call his mama? Punkash.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my Lordy.
Ooh, all right. Y'all ready?
No, I'm not doing this.
Welcome to Clubhouse.
Okay, let me grab my notepad. All right, first and foremost, Clubhouse.
City near you.
First and foremost, Clubhouse. I need y'all to stop creating these bullshit ass rooms.
Yes,
that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let Shane go because boy, like,
all right. So basically, Clubhouse is an app that is currently only for iPhone users. You go on it, you go into a room, you see people's pictures. Some people like to put their whole LinkedIn resume on their bio profile. Yep. Some people are on there perpetrating like they're a millionaire and they can make you a millionaire within a week in one room every week. But they're always on the app, so I don't know what they're doing to become millionaires, but okay. Some people are on there scamming. Some people are on there thotting. Some people, like celebrities, are in rooms talking about all the celebrities that he fucked, okay? That is who's on these apps. And then you have people that are just on there to talk. Some people come on there to network. Some people come on there and they share great business details with you, depending on what rooms you go in. You never know who's in the room because you could easily drag a picture from somewhere and post it up and be like, this is my picture for today. People can listen, but they haven't found a way where you can monetize it yet, even though people have connected the dots to be able to monetize it in a different way. But they haven't openly said, hey, push this button right here. We'll go ahead and allow you to take this whole talk somewhere else. There's people on there having great topics, but they do not know how to moderate a room. The people that they're talking to do not respect the room. So then the topic gets lost. Yes. It's a great place to gauge the temperature of the people in society right now with the topics that they keep bringing up. such as why Black men don't want Black women. Please stop these fucking rooms. Thoughts only. Okay. Why we date women for years but don't put a ring on it. Like, we know why. We know why. Because those women have given you the idea that you don't have to. Okay. A room like before he gets with her, he should blank. Go Google. Ask the person before we have a relationship, what do you want, and vice versa. Like, I feel like a lot of the rooms are questions that they're always scared to ask the person they're engaging with. You should not be making a room asking complete strangers this. They're already married. They're already connected. They already did their work. Who are you trying to connect with? Well, I'm single right now. I'm not trying to date. So this conversation is dumb. Okay. Cake and eat it too. Okay, that's a room.
What now?
Cake and eat it too. Divorce ruined the Black community.
Ma'am, you let that one come out your mouth. I saw that the other day and I was like, I can't do it.
Listen, so now only Black people get divorces. I'm confused. Are Black women worth the trouble? That was an interesting one I saw the other day. And women who won't submit to men, why? So I feel like there are so many rooms that we could be creating right now that are not being created. There are so many things that can be talked about right now that are not being talked about. Like parents who have lost jobs. This is what I've been doing. Come in the room. Parents who are at home with their kids during virtual school. What are you struggling with? This is my technique. Come in the room. Yes. I've tried douching. I've tried my gynecologist. Nothing is working. Other women with fresh punanis. What are you doing? Come in the room. Like, there's so many other things you can be talking about. Men, why is your health care important? This is why your health care is important. Please come in the room. Rooms I do approve of is Black men in therapy, where they dissect different things that they're doing. What other room do I approve? Women uplifting, where you can only come into the room and talk about what do you like that you're doing, or what have you improved? Something positive where you're not nitpicking. All these toxic rooms and basic questions. You can't tell me that y'all are creating these rooms on purpose and then complaining about the same shows and the same movies creators and movie theaters and directors keep pushing with the same storyline like the last 4 movies. Because y'all are telling these people who have no pulling of inspiration that this is what the people want, because this is what they're continually talking about on these platforms. All of this is data. So the data is showing that people want to talk about these things. And if you're not showing these things, people are not going to watch because they're not interested. Once we start having a deeper conversation and a wider conversation on things, then what we see, what we hear will get different. But if it keep rotating around this dumb bullshit, we're going to have the same dumb movies, the same dumb stories. Yes. And they're only going to be white people.
Yep.
Yes.
Space. They're only going to be white scientists and documentaries about the same old shit. Like we have to be talking about something different in order to get something different.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people do want to hear something different. I think it's this fight. Like, okay, on Clubhouse for me, why I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to figure out these stereo streets somehow. And then I'm going to try to figure out Clubhouse, because when I went into Clubhouse, what I ran into was just like very like, I'm going to tell you and then you're going to deal with it. And it's like, wait a minute. You're asking us to come to the stage. Number one, I don't know why everybody needs to come to the stage. Like, that's one thing too. It's like, we don't all need to be on this stage because I don't know, like it's just too much going on. And that is a problem that I had with Clubhouse. And it's a place I won't return to for some time because I'm just like, you know what? Y'all can have that shit. I don't have time for all this. We're trying to do something serious. And some of y'all are in here just playing around. And I can't deal because the whole idea of people talking to me about Clubhouse was things that we can do to actually make things happen because we're serious about them, not that we're playing about them. And I just, and that's, I think that's the thing that frustrates me too. Is like, I know, like one of my reasons of going to Clubhouse too was to hopefully be able to somehow corral like the spiritual community, not in the sense of like what we're doing on Facebook. So I'm in Facebook groups where we actually are like, we have a spiritual community. We actually go and learn together. We learn our prayers. We do all this stuff together. Right. But I'm talking about, now we're talking about supporting each other with businesses and the networking things that we're doing, like just pushing each other out the door. So now you're working on yourself. Now go start doing your business, start working on your thing. So I'm out here trying to start working on what I've been playing around with for like, I don't know, or maybe preparing for, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So now I get to this point where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get with serious people who I can see there's something here. We can move forward. We can do a whole bunch of shit, but we need to be able to do it based off of the platforms that we're supposed to be prepared for people like us. That's how it appeared to me that Clubhouse was. It appeared to me that Stereo was. So I just feel like, I mean, it's probably going to have to get real loud and us keep talking about this shit and then like keep talking about this shit because there's going to be other people who even in the audience that are like, oh my God, yes. I remember I was in this talk, I shall not say his name because anyway, I was in this talk with this dude and somebody came in and was like, oh my gosh, this is like this is the first time that I've run into a talk in a long time where people are talking about something. Like, I mean, the last couple of weeks or days, it's been like madness on here. So I'm like, well, the person I'm talking to is supposed to be the person that you should have been. I mean, you came to the show because of them. So you should have been. And I remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, sometimes I'm listening when I come in on the app, I hear your show and I do swipe because I'm like, wait, what you? Hey, now you supposed to be the way that you present yourself. You're supposed to be doing a specific thing because that's how you present yourself. So, I mean, and that is a thing that rubs people the wrong way. But when they hear something that's worth something, like to your point, when people come on the, like, I don't know what the Clubhouse thing with the pings, like I guess people have to invite you in, right? Mostly it's people inviting you in, or is it just the app just announcing? I know I get invites, but sometimes I don't even look
before
at the difference.
The room starts. It's always announced on the app, but you'll only see it if you're scrolling through. After the room has started, people would have to ping you in, and sometimes they do lock the ping out because sometimes I'll see a room and I'm just like, "Ooh, let me ping Greg in here," and they'll completely block out the pinging where I can't bring him in.
Oh.
Yeah. Good reason, because it's Shan's fault either way. I'm gonna just leave that there.
Greg always finds the cons in the rooms that I ping him in and be like, this bitch is lying.
I'm trying to be more positive, but I'm like, Clubhouse is just anyway. We'll go back to your point, Eruth, because wow.
No, but honestly, it is become what I thought that I hope that it would not be. And that is like sort of like everything into one: Twitter, Instagram. I mean, it's everything. And when I heard the specific person talking about how people look in their profiles as a means to following them, and I'm like, but you supposed to be.
Looking real funny in the light.
I ended up talking to this person on the side and like, listen, this is why you're having this problem in these streets about your reputation. Because you have to be consistent about what you're doing. You cannot be these 5 different faces. I mean, you could be facets of yourself, but you got like 25 people. And like, I need you gotta figure out. And that's something I don't think people think about. They come on here and they're like, it's okay for me to just be. What? Go and take a smoke and lay down for a little bit and then put it together and then come and present.
Nah. A lot of people have on 6-piece suits with a pair of Timbs on that fucking app. I swear they do. I mean, there's no fucking way y'all are the way that y'all are all the time, 24/7. They get on the app like, and you can tell like people who ain't shit and people who won't ever be shit. There's two different types, and the people who won't ever be shit are the ones who are on Clubhouse, and they're always in certain rooms and they ping you and shit. I tweeted a couple days ago. Somebody that I had no clue who this person was. They tweeted me in a room. I can't even remember the fucking name of the room. It was so bad. I just knew for a fact I wouldn't jump in that shit. It was something about like, I love my wife, but let me tell you about. I was like, no, that's not happening. That's definitely not fucking happening. Let me see if I can actually find the name of this app.
Wife, let me tell you about what, sir. All your unbelievable imaginary side pizzas to yourself.
I have to find this shit. Let me see. Okay, so the Clubhouse room was married men only. I love my wife, but
married men only.
I love my wife, but first and foremost, the only reason you said married men only is because they have a wife. Explain the fucking reason for the mathematics. I just don't understand. But just like Shan, I wrote down some names. And I'm actually going to open my app because the shit does not cease just because I wrote these names down. Clubhouse has names of rooms as such. The Thought Graph, Positive Violence Tuesdays, The Erotic Cipher, Why Are Good Women Called Pick-me's? You're So Woke, You're Holding Us Back. A liked message is not a reply. Go fund me. I'm a real bitch. The Executive Bathroom. Are you wifey or nah? Women are the one that Shannon and I made her because I owed her a terrible room.
Wifey or nah?
I made her go into this room called Women Are Delusional, and boy, did it disappoint in such a hood fashion. But since we're talking about rooms, I have more. Right now, there's a room called Do Men and Women Cheat the Same? Let's talk about it. What else do we have?
Shut your ass up.
Yeah, these are the things. Why are strong-minded straight men shunned in today's world? Let's stop there. Here's my issue. As a straight male, I don't feel inclined to go into a room that says, why are strong-minded straight men shunned in today's world? It makes you seem away. It makes it seem like you're hiding something. And if you're not hiding something, you're being rude about something. And you might need to go and correct yourself because some shit's not right. Let's keep going, though. Where's everybody at? I'm bored. Why are y'all still on here?
No, I will not allow you. I will not allow you to finish the next one. I will not allow it.
Yeah. Y'all still on here. Where everybody at? I'm bored. I cannot make this shit up.
No, not today.
Let's keep going. Are we still facing ancient problems in modern times? Let me tell you how.
What's the ancient problem?
Yep. Let me tell you why Black women ain't shit. Yes, that's a room, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we have? Put your cash apps up. Black men therapy. If I knew what I knew about Black women, yes, this is a fucking room. Wet and Wild. The best baddies join ASAP and get lit. Now, here's the fucked up part about how people can't spell. How do you spell? How do you spell and? Like the word and.
And?
Yes.
Like A-N-D?
Yes.
Like
please explain to me why the fuck did you purposely take the A off of and? Like it actually completes you can't
do it.
This is the shit I'm talking about. Then right under this shit, there's a room that's called They Cheated and Still Came Back. Don't question their loyalty. This is Clubhouse, y'all.
Hey, Kev.
This is the shit that I deal with on a daily basis. I open the app looking for positivity and joy. You know what I get? This shit. It's almost as bad as stereo. That's why I don't want the people on stereo on Clubhouse. Can you imagine? Oh, I know. I don't follow them. when people be like, "Oh, do you follow this person?" No, I don't. I ain't like them on stereo. What the fuck? I'm gonna be in a room with them? No, no.
Yeah.
This was coming to dinner.
Yo, Sister Girl, Blackface, and all them. I saw them on there. They was suggest. Nope. You stay right where the fuck you at. Go, you, your homegirl, and your homie too. All them. Keep them the fuck away from me, man. Like Clubhouse has gotten to the point where it is like the hood nigga LinkedIn, and it's like okay, like either you. I'm telling you, like Shan said it earlier, you go into your show notes and shit, or not your show notes, like into people's profiles, and these people are just like, yo, I didn't know you did so much. Oh, I was featured on CNN, NBC. You were not featured on BET, sweetheart. You were on College Hill as like a backdrop. Like
the uncut
version. Oh my God. Featured in King Magazine.
What do they think that's like? I mean, I wonder, who are they attracting?
Exactly.
Right?
The same niggas they were. Here's the thing. The people that you're trying to attract on Clubhouse were the same people that you weren't given the time of day on Twitter. They just it's like reinventing the wheel. Think about it. If you weren't shit on Twitter since 2010 and they come out with a new platform, and all you got to do is you can sweet talk people on an app now. Yo, they have moan rooms. I've never seen this shit before in my life. They got I walked into the room before because the room, honestly, they were like playing music. It had a little music emoji, and they were like, the silent room. I didn't know what a silent room was until I walked into the silent room. So I'm thinking the silent room is like, okay, it's the middle of the day. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon. Everybody's working.
So much.
So here's the thing. This one had a twist to it. So a silent room usually means you go into the room, everybody mute your mic, and you can just get through the day with like a DJ playing and shit like that. These motherfuckers were taking turns moaning at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like, yo, like, do I need like 2:00 in the afternoon? I was like, yo, I get it. It's a pandemic and everybody's at home. But yo, on my lunch break, I go to DoorDash or Chipotle or some shit like that. Y'all are in Clubhouse moaning. Y'all are moaning on Steve Jobs' iPhone, talking about all the shit y'all going to do to each other and moaning and oohing and on and cooing. I was like, yo, and here's the fucked up part about it. So when I walked into the room, I'm sitting there at my desk and I thought that the baby was cooing. So I'm trying to figure, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I took off my hands. I was like, yo, what is going on? I'm thinking the baby is cooing. No, some guy. This wasn't even a woman. Some guy is just in the background. Ooh, what are you doing? No, you were moaning on Clubhouse.
We got 4 people in a room. Titled, "Is a second marriage really worth it?"
No. We gotta.
Oh my God. This is too much. It's too much.
Preacher girl right or another man will. Boom back chat. Hip hop love. Let me see. Just went platinum on them hoes. Okay.
I saw the platinum something room. I'll be like, what is it? What is it? What is that? Is it what says that?
These stuff is funny.
Before I go to bed, let me say, y'all hoes is goofy. Wow.
That's what
instead of just going to bed, you created a room that says, before I go to bed, let me say, you hoes is goofy. What?
Who is he mad at though?
Yo, I understand you might have something on your spirit.
Y'all mad at?
Okay. Just because y'all think I'm joking, remember where I said that room was called Positive Violence Tuesday? It's still going on. And right on top of it is a room called Don't Come in Here If You Broke. You cannot make this shit up. Don't come in here if you broke.
Trap wop.
Here's the thing. Now that I do know how to use Clubhouse, I wanted to try to like record podcasts from there. It's worked so far. I got the interface going and I'm happy with it. My issue is I don't trust anybody other than Shan and the people that do podcasts to actually podcast on that platform. Because what I learned, thanks to Shan, unfortunately, when I invited her into that Women Are Delusional room, some people, men and women alike, are absolute fucking idiots. And I say that with all confidence. This woman said, let me tell you why we don't need a man. All you got to do is steal their sperm and you don't need them no more. I was like, so what? Like, how did this work? The math don't math. And then she said, well, I know science and that's just how it works. I said, you know what? This is Shan's fault because that's what I'm doing from now on. I'm just blaming Shan for shit.
Mind you, he pinged me in the room.
Yeah, it's her fault. It is definitely her fault. Now, the reason why this right now, Clubhouse is like my worst favorite app is because sometimes I'm completely with the shit. I want to open an app just to hear people argue. That shit is fun, especially on a Thursday, because Thursdays and paydays are like the worst days to get on them apps, but it's fun as shit to just see people go nuts. It is fucking fun. Like, imagine if like Maury or Jerry Springer was just like all vocal and you couldn't actually see the people, but you could just hear how angry and mad they are. That is Clubhouse. That shit is beautiful. But I will say, you know, to tie everything in like with a nice little bow, Clubhouse would be good if we knew what to actually do with it. You can't record your content from it. You can't really enjoy it. And a lot of people can't be who they are, to the point where Shan, the nicest woman that I know other than my wife, my mom, and my grandmother, my sister, and Eruth, and every other woman that I'm like family or friends with, right? Shan blocked somebody on Clubhouse. She don't block nobody. I swear, like, she's too nice sometimes.
I had to.
She called me. She was like, Greg, I had to block that motherfucker. I was like, oh, see, here we are. Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. Whenever I call you and I start with, let me tell you about this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm learning to block myself. I had a recent ordeal where I trusted someone. Okay, it wasn't that deep, but it was that deep because I was like, listen, you know, I'm reaching out on this side. Like, Kevin, he'll be extra, extra nice. Oh, I'm like, don't be so extra, extra, extra nice, right? But like, yeah, I love everybody. I love you guys. And I'm like, bring it back. Okay, bring it back. So anyhow, so it got so this is what ignited our whole conversation about the check mark, right? And how silly as shit it is that people are like losing their shit over a check mark, losing potential friendships over a check mark, which that. Oh, well. So anyway, so I'm on, basically I'm on the app, whatever. Some shit went down where somebody, I don't know. They pointed out my check mark. It had nothing to do. They didn't say anything about what I commented on. So Kevin was like, well, you know, it ain't about nothing you commented on. You know, it's about the check mark. I'm like, no, Kevin, this is stupid. They can't be about that. And he's like, but that's what they commented on. Right. So then anyway, back before I reach out to the girl, one of the girls that I thought I was okay with on the side. And I'm like, just to make sure I'm cool. I'm like, we good. I mean, I didn't say we good. I said like, it came off like there was some kind of like tension in the air. You weren't addressing me directly, but you were addressing me. I mean, I'm not an idiot, right? Like, you're not, So anyway, so I'm like, you're addressing me, but you won't say it to me. Like, I'm okay with you say it to my face. Like, I could, my feeling might be a little pinched, but I will appreciate that you told me, that you said something. So anyway, so I'm on the side. I'm like, let me know when you have time, because I will pick up and I'll call you. We'll talk about it, right? Because I'm not going to go. I don't want to go back and forth. It can get crazy back and forth. Let's just do this like adults. So anyway, he's like, well, I don't have time. You know what? I told you what I told you. Basically, like, you were being dismissive, but it's okay. My feelings were hurt, but that's just what it is. But it's okay. I don't have time. You know what? My medication's kicking in. I don't got time to talk about it right now. And I'm like,
oh, motherfucking K. Block.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that, because now I'm like, okay, so are we getting into a thing now where I got to be apologizing to you about something that don't have anything to do with anything, because you missed the point, which is somebody that you cool with was coming for me about something like a check mark, and we're just having this flow through, and I'm trying to clear the air and make sure we good, because I'm going to be on the app whenever I'm going to be on the app. I'm trying to make sure I'm rubbing shoulders. I know where to navigate, how to navigate through these stereo streets. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it gets to the point where I'm like, you know what? She was like, I don't have time for this. I'm, okay, don't have time. Okay, good. You're blocked. Goodbye. Deuces. Nice seeing you. Blessings to you for the rest of your life. I hope everything goes great, and I'm out of here. And I'm just like that now. I'm like, I don't have the time for it. I know better now because I knew better then. But I was like, Eruth, just give it a little, just don't, girl, just ignore that a little bit. It's gonna be fine. Sometimes you got to just go with what it is, and that's kind of like where I'm at. I'm like, you know what? I'm where I'm at. I'm with the people, the crew that I'm with, that I rock with, and that's okay.
You so nice. You so nice. I would be all types of fuck you and your ugly ass cat. Like, I don't play that shit. Like, I've told people before, I'm like, oh, like, this is stereo. This is social media and shit like that. But don't let this check mark get you fucked up. I mean that. Because a lot of people think the check mark is like so important. I'm like, yo, like, you realize I can go delete this profile and just go create another one just to make you happy and still have the same fucking conversation with you. But some people take these check marks and shit, like verified Twitter people. I'm like, okay, great, you're verified, but you don't be talking about nothing to begin with. Half the people that have check marks on stereo don't be talking about shit. They be on there, hey bro, like, are you playing? Like, did you plug up the PlayStation? I'm like, yo, what? Like, this shit don't make no sense. So for people to get mad on stereo, it's like, yo,
this is people with a verified check on Twitter. Copy. Yo. 1,005,600 retweets. Like,
but look, here's a kicker, right? So remember, you were schooling me on people buying Instagram followers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
This same person, I was like, how did you 3,000? And I'm like, is there something wrong with the app? Like, I'm thinking that's actually, I'm thinking something's wrong with IG. Like, why did they just pull all these numbers on here on accident or something like that? But then I saw a couple people that I know that's a little hungry. They hungry. They be hungry. They be not thirsty. They want the whole meal, the drink.
Yep.
They go to sleep and have the itis.
Let me get a smoothie with a big straw, please.
They want to eat a lot.
Yeah, that's what, like, with like Twitter and stuff like that. Like, for me, like, I tell people straight up, like, how you get so many followers? I was like, because I told Diddy on Twitter that he killed Biggie and he knew who killed him. And ever since then, people were like, how? I was like, go look at the tweets from fucking 2010. I went on Twitter and I told Diddy, I was like, at Diddy. I know y'all laughing like I'm telling a lie. Like, it's still up. Like, Diddy,
I'm laughing because I know you would tweet, would say some shit like that.
So, like, I was drunk. I was at the bar and we were sitting there. We were talking about it because I was getting really pissed off. I was like, yo, like, Biggie at that point had died like fucking like 10, 15 years ago, right? What, like 10, 15 years ago. I was trying to figure out, I was like, yo, why do they keep coming out with these fucking like biopics about Biggie? Like, we all know.
Let me tell you something, that Biggie movie was trash.
I didn't even watch it, girl. I couldn't even do it to bring myself.
So I get pissed off and I told him, I went on Twitter, I was like, Diddy, stop making these fucking biopics. You know who killed that man. And needless to say, after 4,000, this is like before retweets were like, okay, that shit just sits there forever to make you look popular and then you pin the tweet. This is like, oh, you pray to God that like you don't get any alerts about that shit anymore because that's going to take up your Twitter. So then he tweets me back and he was like, if you only knew. I was like, nigga, we know you were in the car behind him. How the fuck, like,
I never said anything.
Yeah, and you never said anything. And I told him, I went down the whole, I'm gonna find this tweet, I swear to God. So I told him, I was like, bro, like, how are you in the car behind Biggie? And you knew because the driver had to go past you. They stuck the gun out the window and sped off. You trying to tell me you ain't see nothing? You ain't see no license plate, no nothing? There was no street justice at all. But for some unknown reason, you did the Biggie duets, which is probably the worst fucking thing I've ever heard ever. Jagged Edge was on that album. And they make the same song 182 times.
Yeah,
so you trying to tell me you had no
promise.
So basically bringing it back into it. So I get a whole bunch of followers from this. And those followers, when Instagram, people were like, you know what? Twitter's just being toxic right now. Let's go over to Instagram where we can post pictures. I was like, you could just do the same thing on Twitter, right? So people moved over from Twitter to Instagram. So I have most of the people from there on Instagram now. And I'm looking, I was like, yo, like a lot of those people aren't active anymore. They had kids, they wised up, they grew up. But more importantly, they just don't check Instagram because it's connected to Facebook. They just too scared to delete Instagram, but they'll keep Facebook. So for me, I was like, you know what, like, I don't mind having the followers, but my issue is it doesn't make or break me. Especially if it's not coming down to the podcast. I have family and friends who still ask me, so what about your little podcast? First and foremost, the shit ain't little. And I'll slap the shit. It is that. I mean that shit. Like, so for me, like, I'm just like one of those people with social media now that I'm happy where I'm at. But your homegirl buying the fuck, well, not even your homegirl, that person, that them, the body. People buying the shit. I've heard of it. I've seen it.
Crazy.
Yeah, and if that's your thing, that's cool. Just know that the shit's not real. People aren't real. They're not going to like your shit. They're not going to like your shit. They're not going to fuck with your shit. So I'm just hoping people don't take this seriously. And I know a few people who have kind of taken stereo seriously, as if like they are like this mogul, this social media like person. And I was like, oh, like you're cool on stereo.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be the person that's cool from stereo, but then nobody knows the fucking podcast. I'm like, yo, please bring all that energy from there over here. I've asked stereo, this was like 3 or 4 days ago. I said, at what point can we start deleting the like recordings that we do where we're not penalized for it on the leaderboards? Because I would love to, 24, 48 hours after we know for a fact we got those listens, delete those shows. That way we don't have to keep them up there, because if they're always up there, people aren't going to check the podcast out. They're like, oh, I can just go back into stereo because I'm always in here. And I can just listen to it that way. No, you can't listen to none of that shit. So that's just me and how I, feel about stereo, Clubhouse, and all of those.
Twitter will get your ass. Twitter, my argument back and forth was about the fact that my imaginary son that I would have had, that I would get him circumcised.
Oh my.
Hella people came for me talking about how that was abusive. That's that child's choice. You're taking away their rights. And I'm just like, I don't have a son.
That's what I'm talking about right there. It is the very there's that shell people put out there, like they got this exterior, like I am like rough, tough, I'm the guru of all this stuff, and then it looked a little something. It ain't even, you ain't even try to say nothing. It's a little something, just a little feather, just this little feather, just like a little brush up against it. And you're like, now you're doing the most. You took it there, you took it there, and it's just like, it's not just like Cherry. You always say, if you don't have it, it's not for you. You got to let it go. You have to move on. This is something for people who are serious about actually creating content and bringing people who want to be a part of that content as audience, or people who want to prepare themselves or learn and then get to that place. Like there's just, I don't know what they're gonna do, but and then now you start to see everybody's clicking up too. So you kind of see people who are in like their certain groups and what have you, which is fine, because how are people going to get it? If you want instant gratification today and that's your way, get it. You know what I mean? But just be clear about where you're coming from. Be clear about where you're what your message is for people, and be consistently clear. And I think that's the problem that I have with some of the stuff that's on here, because social media can be used to do a lot of positives. There's a lot of positive, good benefits if you're creative and you know how to use it. But I think that it's, to your point, like I always go back to the frustration. I go back to the frustration. I just circle right back into the spiral.
The new trend this week is, so you woke up this morning, you chose violence. Yes. People choose to be negative every day on social media. Like that's their go-to.
Yeah. So it's like the default now. It's like, you know what? Like everybody's in a good mood. Fuck them. Like, wait, what? Yeah. Like how? Does this shit work? What? I agree to an extent, because some of the shit that people be talking about on social media, it's absolutely stupid. Is there a difference between being a prize and a trophy? Like come on, these are. Exactly. It is. Is there a difference between being a prize or a trophy? And I was like, wait.
I feel like going into the rooms and just asking questions like, so what do you all do after this? What happens next?
Nothing.
Be within their lives that they hate.
What is it?
No, foolishness attracts foolishness. So,
you
know what I'm saying? It's not like this. Those rooms are empty, right? I mean, there's people in there.
Here's the thing. Shannon and I, well, I know we talked about this before, but her and I personally have come up with like whenever we have like dead space or something like that where we can't really think of a topic, it's the best place because people will go and they will go and make a thing that's bad, and we can take it and make it a positive because it's like, y'all are talking about it in a negative way. How about we just make that shit positive? We've been in enough rooms about people who lie about podcasting, and we say, you know what? Why don't we just actually tell people how to fucking podcast or what it takes to podcast, and it works out better. So
and Twitter does have some good gems like this shit right here. Black people's lunch break don't start until food is in their hand.
That is true.
Why are we like this? Oh, this is
I love us, but
it matters every minute, every second.
Oh man,
I believe it.
Just don't get caught up in this shit. Don't get caught up in the Twitter, the Instagram, the Clubhouse, the stereo. Just do your own thing. That way, when all of these things shut down, be like, yo, just hit my website.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing. Like, what if all this shit shuts down? Then we just gotta like go buy the books that are written by these people. And God forbid, I'm not reading 400 pages from B. Simone or something like that again. I won't do it. I refuse. I fucking refuse.
How do I leave my wife 101?
Man, listen.
But you know what? I will say stereo has taught me a lot about the world that we live in. Really has taught me, because some of the things that some of these people come in and say, or even on Clubhouse, like we see people saying, listen, they leave and come back, and people are like, you leaving and you coming back? Like, what you need to stay here, take this bullshit I'm about to give you. Like, I see my picture, and my picture, I'm doing this like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
No, what was killing me was the night I was like situating all the books in the living room, and Kevin Eruth had this guy on the show who was dying to convince them that they should respect the slave masters that came before them. And I was just like, sir, these are not the people for your quest. Please retreat. This is not going to happen.
I couldn't. I was trying to go back and get but you know what? I was waiting for that part to come back up, because I go back and listen to it so I can get the clips. And then I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is not. I don't want people to come to my show thinking like, "Ooh,
I'm there like 5 times."
No, don't come and get no clowns. Ain't no clowns here. That clown's gonna get the X every time. If I see him next time, he gonna bring out.
We're not the clowns.
I cannot.
Oh God. Not the clown.
He said there will never be any peace. There will never be any equality. There has to be some type of takeover. I'm just like, sir.
Oh my God!
You really came out your mom's vagina to die.
Wait. Then he said, y'all praise Martin Luther King. What Martin Luther King? What he did for us? You need to be praising Abraham Lincoln.
What?
Yes.
I said,
man.
You know. Don't come back. At first, honestly, we thought he was joking, because then he kept started laughing at them.
That's
like,
serious.
I'm like, I'm not even. This is a joke.
He said it's the thing with the coin that got me. He said,
Don't take us back. Don't take us back, please.
He said he's facing forward, and if you flip the coin, he's turning his back on white supremacy, and he's looking forward to us black people. And he just really like made it make sense with the coin.
About Abraham Lincoln.
You have to go back to that shit. That was classic.
Oh God. This is why we can't have shit.
But this is why the fight is so hard, y'all. This black people, black folk out here. And no. It wasn't just him. He had a piggyback, because a homegirl was just like, oh, you sound like you know what you talking about. We need to do a talk. I was like, y'all need to do a talk together. That's a good idea.
No, I would listen to that talk. Just be like, oh, they are completely wrong.
Oh,
she came in so smooth. She was, hey, yes.
This is why it's so important for us to never ever call history social studies.
Exactly. It was not.
Because something is not clicking for people today.
It's not.
My God.
It's not. And then there's press the button and just let it go. Like, who's in the house with
many
you?
Many times. Just in case you didn't hear me the first time.
Oh, it's too much.
Mm-hmm. He was mad as hell too.
It was so good. It was so good. And Eruth was like, you know what? We have a lot more messages just trying to stay on topic. So I'm going to just click this.
I had to let it go.
I heard enough.
Oh my God.
And then I had to X his girl out too, because I was like, oh, she having too. Nope, not you, ma'am. Nope, not you there, y'all. Y'all gotta go. And anybody else that hears, they're the example. So don't come up in here. We'll get the X.
Oh yeah, they.
Oh, Malik.
Oh, he's the greatest.
I don't even want to. Malik, have y'all ran into Malik Bay? I'm talking about him because I talked to him about him to his face. I'm like, Malik.
I've seen him on there, but I've never had him like consistently in the show.
Like, there's certain people I'm learning you're gonna have to talk to them directly. Like, listen, I told you about your behavior once. We talked about this. I've told you about it twice. We talked about this. Everybody listen. Hold on a minute. Malik, you know I talked to you about this last time.
He be stalking this, y'all. He be stalking this.
That's how I treat him now. I just be like, listen, I have told you twice now.
But that's the thing with stereo. You really have to reel people in and be like, we're not doing that topic next. Because they will. Listen, in the past, I used to have to prep Greg. I'm like, Greg, anybody bring up this, we're skipping it. Anybody come in here and talk about Black Lives Matters, that's not the topic. Anybody come in here and talk about what do you think about Trump, that is not the topic. Like, we're not doing this tonight.
Oh my God.
It's hard.
Oh God.
But it has to be done.
It is hard. And I think that's the way it's the ropey though. We're gonna have to be it's time for us to maybe that's what we do, y'all. Maybe that's what we're gonna have to do is talk about
reel them in.
Just reel them and talk about them because that's all there is. Interestingly enough, I remember when I was first coming back to social media, I was telling Kevin about this and I was trying to talk about like how am I going to navigate through what it is I want to do? I didn't know if we started YouTube first and I was like, I don't like the platform on YouTube. I don't want to do that. Let me maybe get some practice on something. And stereo came. I was like, oh, okay, we can get practice. So we did publish like one. It's not really a podcast, but it's something. I don't know what to call it yet, to be honest with you. I just know what the format is, but I don't know what to call it. So it's sort of it's more visual than it is podcast, but it is podcast. So I don't have enough, like, we ain't got the money yet, but we're working on it. Just to get like artists, like animators, like people that can actually talk, folks. Hey, Greg, Dan, right? Like the idea is to make it bigger than what it is now because people do like video and they like podcasting. That's what I'm learning now. And so there has to be a more creative way to draw people in using what people like too, which is animation. I know people don't say it, but people do like adult content in animation.
Exactly.
And people like stories, people like music, people like a whole bunch of shit in one. But in order for us to have that kind of production, of course, you have to have the place and the stage and all this stuff. We don't have all that. But what we do have, we have artists, and artists can create anything to make you feel like with the place that you're really trying to design for them, but you don't have it. So like the YouTube platform, or I think like Kevin on Stage, he has a thing now too where you can actually put your content there too. But the point that I'm making with all of that was realizing that there's so much bullshit on the internet. There's so much to talk about in terms of what we're really trying to get to. Like, we basically having to weed out all the foolishness to get to this serious, really serious shit. So people can open up their eyes and be like, okay, yeah, that is some bullshit. Yeah, okay, I do need to get serious now. Okay, I do need to pay attention. There's something that needs to be said here that these people are coming to bring to me to help me, whatever that looks like in what your content is. So I think it's a journey, but I do think the journey is like, we gonna talk about you. And we will X you out and whatever else. And like, hopefully people will start to realize there is an avenue versus the bullshit that they keep, the duplicates and the remakes. And I can't take another remake movie. Like something better is out here already. And I just think need to get to it. But I think this is where we at,
Right.
I agree.
So,
listen, the bullshit is always going to be there. It's a C.
Yeah.
So, what did we learn today? If we learned anything today?
You got to come in with a purpose before you log in, period. Because people will try to sway you, say that you said this is what you think, so you like them, and try to hit you with the all women and all men.
Yeah.
I don't come in here as all. I don't come in here as a y'all, and you're not gonna address me as a collective. I don't care what kind of parts I got. So, to want to talk to other people, you have to be open to the fact that that person's opinion will not move you. That person's opinion does not dictate who you are. And that other person's opinion does not have to be the same. But I still can respect you and your opinion as long as you remain respectful. And that's where people collide, where they want to be loud, they want to be right, and they want to be heard to the point where you stop feeling like your point is valid. And that's not what I'm here to do. I could care less. So that's what I learned.
Yeah. I learned that sometimes what you see is what you see, and that's what it is. You can't make it what you want to make it. It is BS. It is a bunch of foolishness. The patterns do follow each other, no matter if it's IG, Twitter, wherever. It's the same type of people who have these high expectations but are unwilling to meet them for themselves, but want everybody else to meet them. And the businesses and the corporations who are not leveraging the people that actually can build content that can take us beyond where we've been so far, which is the foolishness. And so I've learned also that I ran into great people on stereo that is about not us.
Word to
it's foolishness. No more foolishness.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Those were definitely lessons that I'm going to piggyback and say the same thing. I don't have anything else other than the things that I learned tonight. I definitely learned that there are Holocaust survivors on Clubhouse Part 2. I also learned.
Okay.
I learned that Black men should stop telling Black women who they should be. I learned astrology 101. I learned multicultural workshops, which is work where they said, okay, what is it? How do we practice it? What is real Black leadership? And red flags in relationships. I blame social media. These are things that not only I've learned today, but I would hope people have learned since they've been using social media. Because, I hate these social media apps, but I love them so much because they give me what TV hasn't given me, which is commercial-free bullshit. And I love it. I absolutely love it. In saying that to say, I guess to close us out, stereo, I'm expecting you motherfuckers to pay me handsomely and stop taking out the 3% that you take out when you do pay us. Clubhouse, I need you to allow us to record shows so I don't have to always be on Zoom. Zoom, I need you to figure out why my camera is always like fuzzy whenever I'm recording, so I don't like that shit. Facebook, I need you to stay out of everything that I do. Just because I looked at some shoes on Google does not mean I want it on my Facebook platform. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Twitter. Just because I liked filth does not mean that the rest of my followers and friends on there should.
Listen, all down the timeline. I ain't never seen one of those or one of them before.
Oh Lord, we're terrible. We are absolutely terrible.
Ooh,
Shed, you have to make the exit. I'm taking over. No, Shed, this is you.
Drake, from Everything Culture. He was like, "Why am I scrolling through and seeing a titty on my timeline?" I said, "It ain't mine." But that's like Twitter is really like a free space. They're just like, man, none of the platforms let them see this on there. Let's let them see it for 24 hours and then let's take it off. So, I don't know. I don't hate social media, but people who don't have boundaries and filters don't need to be on it.
Not at all.
Kids don't need to be on it.
Yes.
I mean, TikTok looks fun, but my child ain't got no TikTok.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's a great way to talk your talk, grow your business. I like the fact that I meet interesting people on it, but at the same time, you do have to limit it and come back to it and not just be like sucked in by it. And I think that's the thing that's going to keep the momentum. But for the most part, I don't have a problem with Clubhouse. I don't have a problem with Twitter. I don't have the problem with Instagram or Stereo. It's just like, if y'all not going to improve, cool. But don't give me the illusion that you're trying to improve. And that's it.
It's so nice. Oh, man.
That's
you
it,
say
man.
it's so nice.
So before we get out of here, because it is 1:24 a.m., tell these people where to find ourselves. Okay, where can we find you on social media? That place that y'all, one foot in, one foot out on.
Our conflicts. We have conflicts. We're conflicted about social media. You all can find me on IG. I am Eruth's Looking Glass. There's no space, no dashes, no nothing, just Eruth's Looking Glass. I talk about everything that has to do with getting out of white supremacy, a bunch of and some other topics, but mostly that is like the mission right now until we move on to something else. And just trying to get people to look at the other side of the glass half full, the silver linings. That's what we do. You could also find, I have a Facebook page where I write on the Facebook page. So I do write content, and I also share content that I'm writing based off of. Kevin.
And that's the glass.
That's the Looking Glass
group on Facebook page.
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram, Kevin Kool-Aid, Facebook.
That's your person.
Looking Glass. That's about it.
Yeah, I was saying that's our Facebook. What y'all was talking about earlier, that you have your one place. Like the Facebook is like the house. That's like the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can follow me.
Greg hit me with the anybody that come on my personal IG page, I'm not following you. Just gonna sit there.
I mean that shit. I definitely mean that. I have right now 183 people that are just sitting there pending. Some of them just honestly, they have the stereo emojis. I'm like, that ain't happening. You just have fun. Have fun sitting right there in the gulag. According to Clubhouse, you can sit right there.
Why is that happening though? Why is that okay? Why are you using your emoji as your? We was talking about this the other day. People are going. You know how your iPhone have the little the animals and shit. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be talking to each other like that soon. Watch it. Watch. You're not gonna have no conversation with your baby cousin because she's gonna be looking like a giraffe, and you gotta look like a giraffe too. And that's what's
that shit scared the hell out of me. That won't happen. I will be off of social media by then. I said once my kids they decide to have iPads and iPhones, I'm done with social media because the last thing I need is them being on there. It's like, ain't this your daddy posting, memes about like, vagina and shit? Like, nope, I'm off. At that point, I'm the fuck off.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be on there talking about what y'all talking about.
But you can follow me at She Gets It Pod on all social media. You can listen to the podcast. She Gets It Pod. You can also follow me at Cozy Womb Podcast. No, but for real, you can follow me on Young Black Pod on Instagram. You can follow me at YB Bothered on Twitter. Please do not try to find my personal page. You will just be sitting there forever. My Twitter is Al Sharp Tongue if you need to know the personal one. I will say this: what is said and put on there from 2010 to 2020, I meant that shit, and I'm not apologizing. A lot of people, I'm telling you, like, I don't want to be, where we become a big platform and people are like, was this you? Because the answer is going to be yes.
Yes, that was me. Yeah.
I'm completely fine with saying yes. I told Diddy he got Biggie killed. I'm completely fine with saying that. But the growth has, the growth is this. I know that he didn't do it, but I'm sure he knew who did it. So that's the growth I've had in 1 year. In saying that, I hope that everybody, you use social media to your advantage, meaning make money off of it. Because that's the only reason I'm on here at this point now. I've made my friends and I'm still making friends. I just want to figure out how we can make money together.
Yeah.
That is, social media. You can't spell money without the M, and media and money, somehow that works out. So again, Stereo, give me my goddamn money. That's it. That's all I had.
Facts. Y'all already know everything Greg lied about. Cozy Woman Podcast. You can find me, Cozy Woman Pod, IG and Twitter. She Gets It Pod. Hashtag it. www.whoishin.com for the merch. And
Yes,
that's
indeed.
that.